So imagine if your life is like this gray, miserable, rainy day, like London or, Seattle or, Toronto in the winter, right? Like just this gray, rainy day where everything's just sort of gray and there's no green and there's just shades of slush basically in the streets. And then a few months later, after you've made some daily health changes, your life goes from that to this. And within 24 hours of certain health changes, you can begin to awaken healing processes in your body and start to feel better. Back in 2008, I was in my late 20s. I had suffered throughout my 20s with diabetes, chronic adrenal fatigue, chronic infections, for which I was on monthly antibiotics. I was told that I could never have kids after doing a battery of tests. I didn't have, I had a very irregular cycle, maybe once or twice a year, but I was told I was infertile. I had polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I would cry myself to sleep at night. I was suffering in a sick body, and going from doctor to doctor, they just had drugs and basically, sorry, that's that's it. This is just genetic, or you're always going to have diabetes, and just the garbage that MDs feed us. I don't bash like individual MDs. I think that they do have a good heart, but their training, and if you look into their training, it is largely influenced by the pharmaceutical industry, because that's how it works. If we look at how their training is, so
in the 1920s, we changed from that, homeopathic school to more the allopathic school. So it's like, yeah, totally. You're preaching the choir here.
Right. So what we have to understand is that everything is marketing. When you were a child and you went through the grocery store aisles, you're sitting in the cart, or helping your mom push the cart, and you looked at all the cartoon characters that were trying to make you feel really like warm and fuzzy inside on these boxes of poison we call cereal. That was marketing. But we grew up, loving Ronald McDonald and wanting to go to the play place at McDonald's. And we grew up with the marketing that this is safe, this is comfortable, this is my childhood, right? This is nostalgia. And that's because these major food companies, just as an example, these food companies have 100-year marketing plans. They're not just like thinking about what they're doing next week. They're thinking about how they can brainwash an entire generation so they can secure their sales 30 years from now, right? So when we make food choices, when we make health choices, when we make medical choices, we do not realize that most of what we think we're in control. We think we're making decisions for ourselves. We're actually making decisions based on the marketing that we have taken in since we were born. We've been taught, that don't question the doctor. Every injection they give you is good and is, safe and effective and proven. And so, and food doesn't really help, doctors, because they have almost no training in nutrition. When you say, well, what should I eat? You just told me I have diabetes. What should I eat to not have it? They're like, no, you can't eat to not have diabetes. This is what they'll tell you. And it's absolutely ridiculous. So I went from being incredibly sick to reversing all the conditions I just told you I had, conceiving our son naturally, who he's about to be 9. And we would never have had our amazing son. And I don't even know if I'd still be alive if it weren't for the fact that I started questioning what I was told. And I decided to take on a challenge. And this is the premise of my book: is I give you health challenges. They're in 7-day increments, and it's a workbook. So it's interactive. You get to work with the book. But you get to observe the changes in you, and you get to take on these health challenges that lay down the foundations of health. So 2008, there I am, very sick. I'm just crying myself to sleep every night because I was suffering. And my husband felt so helpless and really wanted to help me. So we started watching health documentaries. This is when Netflix just started to stream documentaries. And the original CEO of Whole Foods, he said something in one of these documentaries. He said, shop the perimeter of the grocery store and buy organic. So I've
never heard the perimeter of the grocery store before. Is that because they put all the goods, the stuff they want you to buy in the middle, and all the stuff they don't want you to buy on the outside?
Most packaged goods are in the aisles, right?
I never considered that.
Most things that expire, if the power went out, all the foods that expire, for the most part, are in the aisles, right? There might be some grocery stores like Whole Foods has like a frozen section kind of down an aisle itself, but for the most part, and yeah, some grocery stores will have like frozen sections in aisles, but fresh, enzyme rich, vitamin rich foods, living foods, right? That feed the cells what they need are in the perimeter. So this is 2008. We were living in Vegas at the time, so we didn't have access to like really great food, but we drove across town to the Whole Foods and we shopped the perimeter. And at the time, we didn't have any food restrictions. We still ate dairy and we ate fast food. So we were deciding to give up all the processed food. And we just went around the grocery store and we bought vegetables, fruit, meat, eggs, dairy, cheese, and then we left. And we chose 100% organic. In that first month, my chronic infections went away. Nothing else changed. Nothing else dramatic. But the fact that I no longer was constantly sick to the point where I needed antibiotics was a huge shift that in 1 month I achieved. And I looked at my husband and I thought, like, what else can we achieve? Now, the water's muddy when you're sick and you've been told by doctors that there is no hope, right? That there is no other choice. Just take this drug. You're taking your car to the plumber. They're not going to give you the right advice because that's not their wheelhouse.
Yes.
I had to seek holistic practitioners and I had to find ones that got results. And so I did a lot of digging and I found some amazing mentors, naturopathic doctors and functional medicine doctors. And through that, I very quickly resolved the diabetes, the chronic adrenal fatigue, and the polycystic ovarian syndrome and the infertility issues. And here I am. So once I got my health back, I changed careers. I was like, I have to get this word out. I have to help people. And so I've been doing health coaching for 12 years, holistic health coaching. And I've done, trainings. I've also been working under naturopaths and mentored by them. And then with my podcast, it was about exploring these amazing individuals who help people and they don't have an audience, but they're help. Like just today I was with a doctor who is the world's leading expert in prolotherapy and he, like, people fly around the world to be trained by him.